modulate the actions of the
vagus
nervous system?
The vagus.
The vagus nerve. Vagus. Right. Now, if we call those reflexes that are carried along the vagus nerve coming from the brain down to modulate that, we're going to call those long reflexes. Why would you call that a long reflex? Because it's long. If the regulation is occurring by the nervous system of the digestive tract itself, short. So we have this kind of dual nervous system regulation, right? Enteric means gut, right? So the enteric nervous system is going to do it itself. And if those decisions are being made within the ganglia of the enteric nervous system, it's short, because they're just going from one little area to another little area. If, however, we want to modulate that over a longer distance, right, meaning that we want the brain to oversee all of this and override anything that should be modulated, that's got to be carried along the vagus nerve. That's the only thing that leaves the head, right? Okay. Down to the enteric nervous system. All right. That's kind of actually not entirely true, but it's fun to mess with it. All right, so we're good with that? Does that seem okay? Laura?
So long reflexes, that's the vagus nerve? Okay.
From the brain. This looks like a mess, doesn't it? I love it when textbooks put these kind of crazy figures in here, but this is really just showing you the integration of long and short reflexes. There's nothing really special, it's just a whole bunch of words. Right? We're going to see that when we talk about digestion, we're going to have different phases of digestion, if you will. There's going to be parts of digestion that are related to the head. Right? So decisions and actions and things that are occurring within the brain are affecting digestion. So that particular phase of the regulation of digestion there, since it originates in the head, what's our Latin for head?
Cephalic.
Cephalic, right? Cephalo. So we're going to have right? And then we're going to be having, once you ingest food and it gets in the esophagus, where does it go? Stomach. And is that process of transporting from the proximal part of the esophagus to the stomach, does that start and stop, meaning is that regulated along the way, or once you swallow it, does it go straight to the stomach? Straight to the stomach, right? Okay, so that doesn't take very long, a couple seconds to make its way down through there, right? That's going to go down through there. So we don't regulate anything at the esophagus, so there's no esophageal phase of digestion, right? But what about the stomach? Would you want to, so when it gets to the stomach, does it just go straight through the stomach?
No.
No, the stomach stores it and then slowly releases it, right? So the stomach must regulate, so there's got to be a gastric phase. And then once it leaves the stomach, where does it go? Small intestine. And what happens in the first part of the small intestine? Digestion. So we wouldn't want to dump it right there and then just have it go straight through there, would we? Because we need to have time in the duodenum to do what? Digestion. And so that means we have to have an intestinal phase. Once we do the intestinal phase in the duodenum, then it's kind of just send it the rest of the way. The rest of the small intestine is quite long, right? So the ileum and the jejunum are combined to maybe 20 feet or so. So that's a lot of intestine. And as we just move this across, it's absorbing. Once it's in the large intestine, we don't really stop and do anything. We kind of just move it through the large intestine, and as we're moving it through, it's long enough. We're reabsorbing water, processing waste. Then we store it in the rectum. Now that, I guess we could say, is regulated because it does stay in the rectum until you get defecation. But by then, digestion and absorption's done, right? So it's not really part of, storing in the rectum is not really part of digestion and absorption, right? It's just part of regulating elimination, if you will. So these are our things here. Now, if it is regulated here, within this, right here, Short or long reflexes? Short. So this is short regulation in here. And if this has a rule here, cephalic, what's that going to be? Long.